You are here because you are tired of losing. You are tired of watching others succeed while you remain trapped in hesitation, begging for attention, blocking enemies in desperation, and hoping for fairness in a world that rewards only the ruthless. This is not a motivational speech. This is not empty inspiration. This is Machiavellian strategy, cold, calculated, and designed to shift power into your hands without apology. Niccolò Machiavelli, the father of realpolitik, did not write The Prince to be liked. He wrote it to be feared. And if you are listening, you understand that true power does not come from being nice. It comes from being effective. Most people live as pawns, reacting to the moves of others. But you will learn to become the player, the one who dictates the game. The 7 lessons you are about to receive are not theories. They are battle-tested tactics used by emperors, CEOs, and conquerors throughout history. Each one is designed to hold attention, to grip the mind, and to ensure that once you hear them, you cannot unhear them. This is not about manipulation for petty gains. This is about mastery, and mastery begins now. Lesson 1. Controlled scarcity, the illusion of rarity that forces submission. The first law of Machiavellian control is simple. Abundance breeds contempt. Scarcity breeds obsession. You must understand that human desire is not driven by what is available, but by what is just out of reach. If you are always present, always answering, always giving, you are not generous. You are forgettable. The moment you withdraw, the moment you become selective, you transform from background noise into a necessity. This is not a trick. This is human nature. Kings did not rule by being accessible. They ruled by being untouchable. The corporate elite do not answer every email. They make others wait. The most powerful romantic interests do not chase. They are chased. You must apply this ruthlessly. Reduce your availability. Speak less. Reveal nothing unless it serves you. Let silence work for you. Let absence sharpen their hunger. When you do engage, make it brief, make it valuable, and make them wonder when they will get more. This is not about playing games. This is about understanding that control does not come from force. It comes from leverage. And nothing creates leverage faster than scarcity. Lesson 2. The illusion of choice. How to control decisions without resistance. The second law is the foundation of all influence. People will die for what they believe was their own idea. The weak command, the strong engineer. A Machiavellian does not force. They design. You must master the subtle art of offering choices where every path leads to your desired outcome. In negotiations, this means structuring proposals so that any decision benefits you. In leadership, this means asking questions that guide others to your conclusion without ever stating it. In seduction, this means framing desires so they believe they are the pursuer, when in reality, they are the prey. The key is to make them feel autonomous while stripping them of true freedom. A prisoner who chooses his own chains will never rebel. A subordinate who believes he made the decision will never resist. This is not deception. This is strategy. And strategy wins wars without drawing a sword. Lesson 3. Strategic invisibility, the power of absence. The third law defies instinct. Sometimes the most powerful move is to disappear. Most fear being forgotten, so they drown the world in noise. The Machiavellian knows better. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is a weapon. When you withdraw, others fill the void with speculation, with curiosity, sometimes with fear. Your absence becomes louder than your presence. In history, the most feared rulers spoke least. In modern power, the most influential figures are those who appear rarely but strike decisively. You must learn when to step back, when to let rumors work for you, when to let your reputation grow in the shadows. Reappear only when your presence will detonate like a bomb. This is not about cowardice. This is about controlling perception. and perception is the throne upon which power sits. Lesson 4. Social proof manipulation. How to make the herd worship you. The fourth law is rooted in a brutal truth. People do not think, they follow. A Machiavellian does not fight this, they exploit it. If you can control what the herd believes, you control the herd. This is why crowds chase trends. This is why masses obey authority. This is why revolutions begin with a few convincing voices. You must position yourself so that others validate you. Associate with those the crowd already worships. Showcase endorsements without boasting. Let your reputation be built by the words of others, not your own. The moment the herd accepts you as an authority, resistance evaporates. This is not about ego. This is about turning human weakness into your army. Lesson 5. Calculated vulnerability, the art of strategic weakness. The Machiavellian understands that appearing invulnerable makes you a target, while appearing weak makes you prey. The solution? Controlled, calculated vulnerability, showing precisely the weakness you want seen, for precisely the effect you want achieved. This is the tactic that turns suspicion into trust, that transforms predators into protectors, that makes enemies drop their guard at the exact moment they should be most wary. When Julius Caesar allowed himself to be seen weeping at Pompey's statue, it wasn't grief. It was theater designed to show his humanity while he consolidated absolute power. When a CEO admits to a small failing during a shareholder meeting, it's not honesty, it's misdirection from far greater vulnerabilities. You must learn to select your weaknesses as carefully as you cultivate your strengths. The key lies in choosing flaws that humanize without crippling, that create connection without inviting attack. Reveal a minor struggle with punctuality while hiding your ruthless efficiency in other areas. Show vulnerability about public speaking while concealing your razor-sharp strategic mind. This creates what psychologists call the pratfall effect, where small flaws actually increase your appeal and perceived authenticity. But remember, this is not about being vulnerable. This is about weaponizing the appearance of vulnerability. The difference is everything. True Machiavellian operators don't have weaknesses. They have carefully curated appearances of weakness that serve as psychological traps for their opponents. Lesson 6. Reverse psychology misdirection, the invisible puppet strings. Now we enter the realm of true psychological mastery, the ability to make others believe they're acting independently while they execute your will perfectly. This is the Machiavellian art of reverse psychology at its most sophisticated, where resistance to your ideas becomes the very mechanism that drives people into your arms. The principle is simple yet devastatingly effective. Human nature rebels against perceived control while fiercely defending what it believes to be its own free choice. Your task is to structure every interaction so that the path you desire appears to be their idea, their discovery, their brilliant insight. In negotiations, express doubts about whether the other party could handle your terms. Watch as they fight to prove they can. In leadership, suggest that perhaps the team isn't ready for an ambitious plan. Observe how they rally to make it happen. In personal relationships, imply that maybe they wouldn't be interested in what you're offering. See how they suddenly crave it. The key lies in your delivery. It must never feel like manipulation, but like genuine concern or objective assessment. Your tone should be thoughtful, your demeanor sincere. The moment they sense you're trying to steer them, the spell breaks. This is why the most effective practitioners of this art often appear to be the most reluctant participants in any endeavor. Their apparent hesitation becomes the very engine that drives others to action. Study how cult leaders convince followers they chose their path freely. Analyze how top salespeople make clients feel like they discovered the product's value themselves. This is dark psychology at its most refined. the ability to control while making the controlled feel more autonomous than ever. Lesson 7. Delayed consequences, the nuclear option of social dynamics. The final and most devastating lesson in the Machiavellian playbook is the art of delayed consequences, the ability to strike when your opponent feels most secure, to retaliate when the offense is nearly forgotten, to engineer outcomes that appear as fate rather than vengeance. This is not the impulsive rage of the weak, but the calculated retribution of the strong. True power lies not in immediate reaction, but in patient, inexorable response. Consider how the Roman Senate dealt with threats, never through public confrontation, but through subtle shifts in patronage and position that took months or years to fully manifest. Observe how the most successful business leaders handle rivals, not with direct attacks, but with strategic moves that unfold over quarters or years. The key is to separate action from consequence in the minds of your opponents, to ensure they never connect their suffering to your hand. When a subordinate undermines you, don't reprimand them. Wait for their next mistake and let protocol handle the punishment. When a rival spreads rumors, don't confront them. Allow time to pass before their own words come back to haunt them in some unrelated context. This approach serves multiple Machiavellian purposes. It prevents you from appearing petty or emotional. It creates plausible deniability, and most importantly, it instills a lingering, low-grade fear in anyone who might cross you. The sense that consequences might come from anywhere, at any time, in any form. This is how you cultivate true power, not through dramatic shows of force, but through the quiet certainty that no offense goes unanswered, in its own time, in its own way. The psychological impact is profound. People begin policing their own behavior around you, not because of any explicit threat, but because of the unsettling sense that the universe itself seems to punish those who oppose you. These are not lessons. These are laws. Laws written in the blood of those who refuse to lose. The question is no longer whether they work. The question is whether you have the will to wield them. Most will hesitate. Most will cling to fairy tales of fairness. But you now see the truth. Power does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who take, silently, ruthlessly, and without remorse. The game has always been playing. The only difference is now you know the rules, so go, and make them regret ever underestimating you.